Section 5. Legal and ethical issues when representing sellers in foreclosure. Don't default. Melissa had barely sat down at her desk when her phone rang. Hi, Melissa. I don't know what to do. It was the homeowner David had warned her about only a few weeks earlier. I received another notice from the trustee. I found someone online who says they can save my house. Melissa immediately became cautious. What exactly are they offering? They said they'll buy my home today. They'll let me stay in it. They told me not to talk to my lender anymore. They said I don't need a lawyer. They just need me to sign a few papers. Melissa thanked the homeowner and asked if she could return the call in a few minutes. She immediately walked into David's office. I think something isn't right. David looked up. What did they promise? Melissa explained the conversation. David sighed. Unfortunately, that's exactly when many distressed homeowners become victims. Melissa looked surprised. You mean scams? Sometimes. Sometimes they're legitimate investors. Sometimes they're experienced buyers. But sometimes they're people looking for homeowners who are scared, overwhelmed, and willing to sign almost anything. David leaned back in his chair. This is where realtors provide tremendous value, not because we solve every legal problem, but because we recognize when someone needs help. Melissa nodded. So what should I do? The first thing? Stay in your lane. Melissa smiled. You've said that before, and I'll keep saying it. David laughed. When homeowners ask legal questions, they need legal advice. When they ask tax questions, they need a tax professional. When they ask bankruptcy questions, they need an attorney. Our license allows us to assist with the real estate transaction. It does not authorize us to practice law. Melissa nodded. So I shouldn't tell the homeowner whether the lender can sue them? Correct. You can explain the transaction. You can explain the foreclosure process. You can discuss available real estate options, but don't answer legal questions that require an attorney. David continued. Remember your fiduciary duties. A distressed seller is often making one of the most emotional financial decisions of their life. They deserve honesty. They deserve patience. And they deserve complete disclosure. Melissa thought for a moment. I've noticed many distressed sellers still think their house is worth what it was 2 years ago. David smiled. That's completely normal. Fear and emotion often affect judgment. Our responsibility is to provide objective market information, not false hope. David opened the MLS. The first thing I do is prepare an accurate comparative market analysis. If the property has equity, a traditional sale may still solve the problem. If it doesn't, then we begin discussing alternatives. Melissa looked at another file. This property also has HOA liens and a second mortgage. David nodded. That's another reason foreclosure transactions become complicated. Title issues, judgments, tax liens, HELOCs, junior liens. Every one of those can affect whether the transaction closes. Never assume title is clean. Melissa wrote another note. Order title early. Exactly. The earlier problems are identified, the more likely they can be resolved. David paused. Now let's talk about something agents occasionally overlook. Fixtures. Melissa smiled. I've actually had sellers ask me if they can take their upgraded appliances. That's a great question. David explained that under most deeds of trust, fixtures attached to the property generally become part of the lender's security interest. Removing built-in cabinets, ceiling fans, sinks, wiring, built-in appliances, or other fixtures before a trustee's sale may expose a homeowner to significant legal consequences, including potential civil liability and possible criminal violations under Arizona law, depending on the circumstances. He reminded Melissa that Arizona law addresses conduct intended to hinder enforcement of a secured creditor's interest. See ARS Section 13-2204. So as they upgraded all the plumbing fixtures, they can't simply swap them back? Generally, no. Once those fixtures become permanently attached to the property, they are typically considered part of the real property securing the loan. Melissa looked surprised. I never knew that. Many agents don't, and that's why education matters. There is another distinction agents should understand. Personal property. He explained that freestanding items, such as a washer and dryer, may remain personal property depending on the circumstances, unlike permanently attached fixtures. After a foreclosure sale, questions involving abandoned personal property should be handled carefully, and realtors should avoid giving legal opinions regarding ownership rights. Melissa closed her notebook. I've learned something today. Helping a seller avoid default isn't just about finding a buyer. It's about protecting them from mistakes while they're under enormous stress. David smiled, and protecting yourself at the same time. As realtors, we don't just sell homes. We protect the public. And that's exactly why Arizona places such a high value on professionalism, ethics, and knowing when to involve other qualified professionals. In the next section, we'll begin exploring one of the most effective alternatives to foreclosure, the short sale. and how experienced realtors can guide sellers through the process while protecting both the client and the brokerage. Online discussion. Discussion question 1. A homeowner asks whether filing bankruptcy will stop a trustee's sale. How should an Arizona realtor respond? Answer. The realtor should avoid providing legal advice and recommend that the homeowner immediately consult a qualified bankruptcy or foreclosure attorney. The agent may explain the real estate process, but should not advise on legal rights or strategies. Discussion question 2. Why is it important to order a preliminary title report early in a foreclosure-related transaction? Answer. Early title review helps identify liens, judgments, HOA assessments, second mortgages, or other encumbrances that could delay or prevent a successful closing, allowing time to address issues before deadlines become critical. Discussion question 3. Why should realtors educate sellers about fixtures before a trustee's sale? Answer. Many homeowners mistakenly believe they can remove permanently attached items before losing the property. Educating clients helps prevent actions that could violate the deed of trust, create disputes, or expose the seller to additional legal consequences.